Welcome back, everybody. I am Marilee Burnett, your astrologer as well as tarot reader, here with the messages for the week of January 22nd of 2024. This is the week where we start to see shifts and changes occurring. Some of those are a bit of a carryover from the end of last week as well. If you're not as prepared as you would like to be for what's ahead in 2024, book a session with me. I have a package where we go in depth to all of the big changes, the retrogrades, the new moons, the full moons, the eclipses, as well as pulling out some important dates and things to watch for. And there is a lot to watch for in the year ahead. So check out the link below. If you can't book a session with me now for some reason, please make sure you subscribe and like my channel as well as my website, because you can go out there and look at all of the free content that I have, including hypnosis for the signs. I am also a hypnotherapist, and I work with you to help you clear any blocks. And if there is energy in your chart that you're struggling to connect with, hypnosis can help. All right, let us get started and look at the week ahead. So as we start this new week, we will see that Mercury in Capricorn is finally clear of its shadow. So it ended its retrograde on January 1st, but it has still been in post-shadow. So now we have seen and hopefully understood all that we needed to from the Mercury retrograde, and now we can start moving ahead. So there's a good piece of forward movement for us. Next, you'll see that Venus is at the last 29 degree of Sagittarius. So as a personal planet, Venus spends about 3 weeks in a sign before it moves on. Venus energy enjoys the sign of Sagittarius. It's big, it's fun, it's flirty. As it gets more serious and moves into the sign of Capricorn, things, involving money and love do get more serious, and we slow down and get a bit more grounded. Everybody's been talking about the fact that Pluto is now in Aquarius. So as it sits at 0 degrees, that's starting to have some distance between itself and the sun. Whatever was showing up for you this past week, I think it's important to remember that Pluto will go retrograde at that 29 degrees of Capricorn on September 1st, and there's a lot of stuff going on September 1st. So keep a note of it. Notice what you've been working on, who's been showing up, how you've been feeling. All of that can go for a much deeper review between September 1st and I think about November 19th. So there's lots more to still uncover, but a lot of the work with Capricorn and Pluto is done. Now, it was last March that we saw Aquarius energy activated by Pluto for the first time. Stayed there till about mid-May last year, and then again dipped back into Capricorn. So you have some idea based on your experiences last year of what you may be starting to work on. And keep in mind, this is a very long transit. This work is very internal, and it takes time. It's slow work. It takes a while to face your fears and turn those fears into a superpower. And that's really what Pluto's trying to help you do. Now, in the sign of Aquarius, I think we're learning how to find our tribe. It is, yes, power to the people, but people who are doing something useful, something that makes a difference, something that unites us. While Capricorn is very much about what the government was doing, Uranus energy, which rules Aquarius, is more about being inventive. Obviously, AI, ChatGPT, that all started last year when Pluto was in Aquarius. But there's, of course, more to the story. And as each one of these planets, the sun, technically a luminary, and Mars, and Mercury, and Venus, all come through and talk to Pluto, that's a conversation you need to be paying attention to, because it's going to paint some of your story for the next year and possibly even the next 20, because that's how long Pluto will be here. So we are starting to get some idea about what our work will be. Other energy that's continuing over from last week is the positive conversation between Saturn and Jupiter. Now, these are your teachers. These are your mentors. They are showing you the bigger picture and encouraging you to do the work. So we'll talk more about that as we move forward in our view for the rest of the week. All right. Let's take a look at Tuesday. So as we move into Tuesday, one of the things I'm going to call out, but we're not going to talk about it because we talked about it last week and this is a long transit. But just so if you have a question, what's this green line? What's this energy about? Uranus, still retrograde, but slowing down to go direct, is having this long discussion with the South Node in Libra at this weird quincunx or inconjunct angle. So this can bring up strange things from the past relating to either a relationship, maybe it's something legal, a lesson that you've learned in the past because of a relationship that might help you make some kind of financial change because of the fact that Uranus is here in Taurus. So that is something that we will see continuing. The other energy that is beginning to build here is a T-square with Chiron in Aries, which can be our wounds, it can be our health, and it's starting this difficult conversation with Mars. So we're going to talk about that a bit more as it becomes more exact on Wednesday. So let's take a look at that now. On Wednesday, we start to see this pressure building. Now, whenever we have energies that are squaring to one another, there's a difficult conversation going on. So we've got Chiron at 15 degrees of Aries, which is the midpoint of Aries. And we have Mars at 15 degrees of Capricorn. And you'll notice that Mercury is moving closer and closer to Mars. So this energy can inspire us to take action, to learn the information we need to do some of this healing work, to learn how we can do a better job to create boundaries in our life, and to learn how to speak up for ourselves, especially against authority figures, Capricorn energy. So there is something that is kind of brewing beneath the surface, and it will grow over the next several days and become something fated as both Mercury and Mars start marching closer and closer to the nodes as well. So this is a storyline for the whole week. Something might make you feel uncomfortable, and you're going to have to spend some time dealing with it. Now, keep in mind, we also have Venus now in the sign of Capricorn. So financially, it's time to slow down and take a closer look at things involving your money, finances, and if it's love, same thing. It's time to be more responsible, more respectful of your partner, and you'll have that look over the next 3 weeks. On Thursday, January 25th, we have the full moon in Leo. Now, Leo energy is fun. It is exciting. Leo is ruled by the sun, so there's a lot of fun. And it's also the sign of the lion, right? Leo lion. Things to do with leadership. So there is something in your life where this full moon is happening that is coming to fullness, that is coming to completion. But what the moon has to do when it's having a conversation in opposition to the sun, of course, which is still pretty close to Pluto, the sun is shining a light from the energy of we, where Leo is very much about me. What do I want? What are my goals? And so this is always a reminder that you might have individual goals and needs that are going to be fulfilled here, but they shouldn't be fulfilled at the cost of your friends, your tribe, your people, right? You want to do your best to bring opposing energies into balance and figure out a way that you succeed and everyone around you succeeds as well. Now, you'll notice that this energy here is squaring to Jupiter. And Jupiter in Taurus kind of has that same kind of message, right? It's how are you valuing what you do, who you are, the money that you make. Maybe for some, this is a conversation about the money you have. And there's pressure between what you want to do and what other people want you to do with your money, right? Jupiter, when you have the T-square, the apex point is the exit point of the energy. Well, Jupiter is a good planet to have there because Jupiter offers growth and expansion. It is spiritual purpose. So there is something more, something better that you will want to choose rather than just focusing on yourself and your own needs, especially in relationships, right? Leo, love, passion, fun, joy, hobbies, right? All those things. But are you doing them with some kind of purpose that helps other people, or you really been stuck in this place where you're worried only about yourself? Well, then you're going to have a little bit of a wake-up call. Now, full moons always are intense, and a fire sign brings the intensity up a new level, like turning the oven up to high. So prepare yourself, right? The couple of days before, the couple of days after, that there can be some intensity to the energy as we have this full moon happen. And then of course, anywhere that you have 5 degrees in your chart, it's going to be activated. So exactly at 5 degrees as well is that Saturn energy in Pisces. And again, it's one of those green lines. So there's something interesting and odd about how this comes to completion for you. Maybe there's an old mentor that is going to play a role in whatever ends up ending for you at this time. So if you want to set intentions to complete things based on the house that you have this Leo energy in, that make sure that you do it with open mind and invite change to come in as well. Now you'll notice during the full moon, but not directly aspecting it, is Mercury and Mars getting closer and closer together. And of course, they are still exactly squaring to Chiron. So there, again, there's some kind of a pain point that is part of the undercurrent of whatever this full moon event will mean for you. Of course, we still have Saturn speaking in harmony with Jupiter at the time. So there are spirit guides out there trying to help us make the right choices. Just make sure you're tuned in and listening to what your guides have to say. Now, if you want to know more about this, go out to my website, check out my article on marileeburnett.com. You'll see that I do a new moon and full moon article, as well as the full month's astrology every single month. So take a look out there if you want some more details and if you want to see what's going to happen for you by sign. All right. All right. Lots going on there. Let us move on to Friday the 26th. And what you will find on this day is that officially Uranus will end its retrograde and it will begin to station to go direct. So there's that work that we have been doing since the end of August in 2023. And now that work is coming to an end and we can start applying what we've learned. Now, this is what we call transpersonal planet. So it is something that we do a lot of work on beneath the surface internally versus seeing something like Mercury change up your day-to-day life. Uranus brings you aha moments, inspiration, big ideas, twists and turns that you have to respond to, but not direct changes necessarily, unless you happen to have, say, a planet at 19 degrees of Taurus. Then this Uranus energy is really going to stir things up so that you pay attention to whatever you're supposed to be doing with that particular planet, depending on the house that you have this energy in. So it stirs up more energy because of the fact that it's stationing to go direct. So this could be, again, a few intense days because of the fact that we're just coming off of a full moon. Uranus might be striking lightning bolts all around the place, and we don't know which way to turn or dodge. So just be aware of that. Also, when we have Mercury conjunct with Mars, as we do here, this can cause accidents because we're trying to go too fast and we're being a little too careless. And the fact that these two are coming together and squaring Chiron, I just want you to be extra careful this week for that very reason, because this is like being sweet 16, got your car, your friends are encouraging you to drag race and drive fast. That's Mars. So if you don't want that to be, make sure you slow down and then just be aware of who's around you while you are driving or traveling. Mercury is short distance travels. And like I said, Chiron can be wounds, it can be health, it can be illness. So the other good thing when you have a square is you can change something. So if you've been ill, you may be able to come across the information and understand what you need to do or change in order to heal. All right, let's take a look at Saturday. So on Saturday, we have this really beautiful energy, and it's really going to take up with Saturday and into Sunday as these planets will travel together. So we'll see Venus is now hitting that 5-degree point of Capricorn. As it does, it's speaking exactly sextile to Saturn in Pisces. Now, Saturn's the ruler of Capricorn, and with Venus there, it's almost as if she has a message to share with Saturn and vice versa, right? So there is something that these two need to collaborate on this weekend. So wherever you have this energy in your chart, you want to pay attention because you have something big to do, and you have the big hitters in the sky helping you to do it and accomplish your goal. Where Saturn is about goals and planning and execution and structure. So always good to tune in when you need help achieving goals to that Saturn energy. And then that means they are both speaking in harmony also with Jupiter and Taurus. So that's some good financial opportunities with both Venus and Jupiter speaking harmoniously. These two benefic planets, whenever they come together, can give you a blessing of some kind. And then you'll also notice we still have Mars and Mercury marching together on Saturday. So my same caution applies. Slow down. Whatever you're doing, make sure you're thoughtful about it and not taking too many risks. And then as we get to the last day of the week, you'll notice that we still have Venus and Saturn and Jupiter talking together, but now they are all at 6 degrees of their sign. And the number 6 in numerology is about joy and love and happiness. It is a wonderful feel-good energy. So there is a chance for some really beautiful, abundant energy on Sunday, and you do not want to miss it. What's interesting, and probably why we need this beautiful energy, is because now, as that Mars and Mercury are coming together, they are creating a T square, an exact one, with the North Node in Aries and the South Node in Libra. So, in order to restore balance between your destiny and your karmic past, there is a change in direction that you need to make. Now, there could be changes in government leadership with this kind of pressure. In your own life, it's going to depend on where you have Capricorn energy in your chart, but something about that house requires you to make a change, and one that will help you step more into your power. Because as we have the North Node in Aries for the rest of this year, we are learning how to choose ourselves, how to make the best choice for ourselves. Doesn't mean we are ignoring the other person or the other people in our lives, but we can't keep surrendering our wants and needs just to keep the people happy. And trust me, if you have to make too many sacrifices just to keep somebody in your life, just to keep a relationship going, it's not worth it. Your needs should be just as important as the other person. Now, early in the morning on Sunday, we'll actually have this really brief, grand Earth trine. So again, there's some stability that is trying to help us on Sunday between the moon and Jupiter and Venus. So there, even though we've seen pretty much a good balance between the red, which is things that require changes, and these blues, which are very helpful energy, but we have to do our own work. We can't expect it to just be handed to us. So it's such an interesting week. We've got a full moon. We've got a planet ending its retrograde. We have this beautiful blessing. It is just going to be a really interesting week. So drop a note, make a comment below about how this week is turning out for you. Maybe what you've been seeing since Pluto jumped into Aquarius. And let me know how I can help. My links to all of my hypnosis sessions, my website, my articles are all down below. So check them out and give me a follow. I post every day on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube. And I pull tarot cards or oracle cards and share a message and a lesson every single day. So later you will see, in fact, that I pull a card for each zodiac sign. You should watch Sun, Moon, and Rising for the week ahead. So those will start popping up for you in the next few days as well. All right. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate you giving some of your time to me and being willing to listen to my lessons. So let me know how I can help you, and I hope you have an amazing week ahead.